Okay. Pretty sure we fixed everything. We're good now. Welcome back, everybody. Haley's gone. Haley had to go test, so it's just me now. So we'll let everything kind of settle down. Let's make sure everything sounds Gucci on our end. Let's go to was live. All right. Let's make sure we're all good. Yep, we're good. We did it. Fixed it. Oh, the story of our lives this week. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Beyond the Forecast podcast. I am Chief Meteorologist Michael Stevens. And we're not really going to dive into a certain topic today. What we're going to be diving into is, essentially this. Welcome to our new digs. And also, we haven't had a podcast in a while, and we're going to explain everything on why, and also talk to you guys. It's been a while, so if you guys want to ask a question, feel free. Haley had to jet downstairs. She has some testing to do in the new studio. She was unaware of that. I was unaware of that, but that is, one of the fires that we are putting out is we have to test some stuff, and we're here now. So she's downstairs testing, and I'm here with you. So welcome, everybody. Appreciate you being here to our first podcast in about a month-ish. And the reason why is really because of this. Our schedule got kind of wonky. We had John with time off. We had Haley with time off. And when you have people with time off, you have to cover and you have to do things. So we weren't able to have a podcast. And then the last 3 weeks or so, we have been 100% just running forward in doing the podcast stuff or doing the move. So the podcast stuff got taken back a step, and we were just getting Beyond the Forecast shows done and also preparing for the move. So that's what we had to do. And that's why we haven't had a podcast or so in a month. So now we are here with the podcast and now live in Traverse City. So here we are in downtown Traverse City, day 2 of our move. And I'm in kind of actually right below me is the front door to come into the building. So if you ever come downtown Traverse City at the corner at the light of Cass and 8th, the front door is right here. We're right above that. This is a little windowed section that I figured would be great for a podcast. And that's where we are currently. There's a deck out there. We'll probably have some podcasts out there when it's nice out. It's just not the best morning. The deck is a little soggy from the rain yesterday. So that is kind of what we're looking at. This is bare bones minimum podcast, live streaming podcast. I have my computer, I have my camera, I have my microphones. So that is kind of how this is working for right now. But it will all get figured out and taken care of here in the coming weeks, days, months. So that is kind of where we're at. So appreciate you all being here. If you guys have anything that you'd like to discuss, feel free. Throw it in chat. Welcome, Matt. Thank you. Appreciate it. I've got to say this. I invested in a vehicle for commute. This is the first time in my professional career that I've had to commute. So that is 15 years at 9 and 10, plus 15 plus years at 9 and 10. And then I was 2 years in North Dakota. I've never been more than, I think, 10 miles from the station. And that was driving from my house to Mount Dighton, where the old station was. It's 2 olds now. But driving up here is 45 minutes from me. And I grew up in Cadillac. So I'm no stranger to commuting to Traverse City. But now I have to commute for my job. And so invested in a vehicle, and I don't mind the hour drive. I'm avoiding the expressway and go through Manton and found River Road. River Road's uh, is like the best thing ever invented. That road saves so much hassle. But yeah, I don't mind the drive. Turn on some tunes and head out about 45 minutes earlier than I normally would. I got my dog hair on the mic. So it's not too bad. I don't mind it at all. So yeah, that's a new aspect to my life. I've never had to commute before, so now I have to do that. It's all right. I enjoy turning on the music and just driving. What other aspects? I think the for me was just getting everything settled into this building. I went from my glass case of emotion of an office, and I had to empty that and then set it on a desk. So that was a little readjustment period. Had to do that for a little bit. What about winter? Winter won't be too bad. I mean, I grew up here, so I mean, it'll be fine. I'm sure it won't be 45 minutes like it is every day for me in the summer, but in the winter, I'm sure it'll be fine. The thing is, so let's talk about that. When are the roads the worst? You know, granted, if there's a storm coming through, there's a little bit to that, but the roads are typically the worst at night when plows are waiting or working their hardest, I guess. So as long as I'm not up running in at 1 a.m. for MTM, I think the drive will be fine because my hours now are 9 to 5, so they should be all right. I'm not worried about winter driving up here. I mean, yeah, there'll be bad days. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you just gotta take it slower, right? I'm no worries driving in the winter. I hunt. I grew up here. I think it'll be okay. Doesn't mean I won't hate it sometimes, because I will. But that happens. So, yeah, that's kind of what we've done. We moved to downtown Traverse City. You're going to see some things here for the next few days on Beyond the Forecast. We're kind of figuring out where we want to shoot some stuff, where we're going to record. If you guys have noticed, we are on the big board. If you've gone to the Pit Spitters games, we are now on the video board for them giving a forecast for the Pit Spitters game. So you'll see that a little bit more often. What other new things going on besides our move, obviously? Mackinac Island, going up there this weekend for the Lilac Parade. So if you're on the island, I'll be out and about Saturday and then most of Sunday too. That'll be fun. I've never had the joy of being on the island in this summer, meteorological summer. It's always usually the chilly springish time that I've been on the island. So I'll be up that way. Still going to the UP this summer as planned. Nice little trip. So yeah, that's what's going on in my life. You probably didn't ask, but that's what it is. So yeah. But let's talk a little bit about weather. We don't have a certain topic that we were discussing today, only because we just wanted to get back on the podcast bandwagon after, obviously having time off for stuff. So let's talk about what we've seen over the last month, shall we? We had severe weather, quite a bit of it. We had just even some severe storms yesterday, but we had some. It's really been cool. Overall, the last month has been cool, and a lot of you have been asking why has it been so windy, and why has it been so hazy, and so we can tie all of that together. It's been windy because we've seen those low pressure systems just one after another impacting or around the Great Lakes. So it's whether it's north, south, west, moving right into us. We've had low pressure after low pressure after low pressure after low pressure. That is why we've been so windy, and it's also been why we've been so cool. It hasn't been super cool. I say cool, but it's been average for the most part across northern Michigan. But we've seen decent amount of rain, which is great. We're curbing any drought conditions. And then the haze. So all of the smoke that we've been seeing over the last week, week and a half, is from wildfires up in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, British Columbia areas. And it's a lot of those provinces out there in northwest Canada. We're still stuck in a pattern that's allowing low pressure systems move in from the northwest. So after that low pressure system is just spinning up, it's grabbing all of that smoke, that haze in the atmosphere, and pinwheeling it right into the Great Lakes. That's why we've been hazy over the last week and a half or so. So with the lows just continuing to develop and move into the Great Lakes, it's just carrying that haze into our atmosphere. That's why it's been so smoky lately. So that is why if you want to enjoy a weekend, but it seems like it's not super sunny, it's just, hazy sunny, that's why. But all in all, we've been pretty normal for the last little bits of spring. And to be honest with you, if you've looked at the plants, if you've looked at vegetation, they're enjoying it. I can honestly tell you we've had more response from our plants in Cadillac than I can remember. Our lilacs took off. Our apple tree went nuts this spring with blossoms. And then all of our front yard stuff, so like roses and, oh man, what do we got on the front? Oh, is it I can't remember what the bush is, but my wife has two flowers in the front of our house that absolutely went haywire too. And that was because it wasn't too cold. We had enough moisture. It was just a normal spring, and they absolutely loved it. Went haywire. So if you've noticed that, that's because our spring was actually pretty decent. It wasn't too dry. It wasn't too hot. We had some moisture, and it worked out nicely. So you can see that's why northern Michigan has been very green, very nice. So, but that is kind of the things that we've been seeing so far. But how are you all? How's everybody been doing weather-wise or life-wise? Is everybody good? This is much harder with just one person. There's pieces of Haley here. She was here. You can see. Or we can present this to you all. If you're able to, some might just be listening in the background. If you're able to, what do you want to see covered on Beyond the Forecast? What has happened in the last month or two that you're like, why? Weather-wise. And we'll discuss that. If we can. I'm sure we can, but oh, Courtney. Hi, friend. We're around. I ran into your sister, Courtney, at Walmart. Ran into Brittany. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll have Courtney on to talk about electricity. Why so much wind? Good question, Tanya. We explained that here briefly. Low pressure systems, one after another. We just have not had a break from system after system after system after system. So this winter we were set up in a La Nina pattern, right? And La Nina opens the doors to northwest flow of low pressure systems, so clipper systems, if you will. This spring has been just low after low after low, not only from the northwest but also the southwest. So as those lows move in, it's just been windy, windy, windy. Like the last, I mean, yesterday we had 2 different low pressure systems move through. So we've just been bombarded with low pressure system after low pressure system. And that's one reason why the temperatures have been, again, not super cool, but right around average to slightly below average. Why we've seen a little bit more rain this spring, why our plants are taking off, and it's because of those low pressure systems. Yeah, the wind has been wild, and that's the reason why. There's a lot of, you know, it's also in strength of the low pressure systems, but low pressure systems tend to give you more windy conditions. We've had a lot of fronts. The weather has been, we have been the gateway for the weather, if you will. Like, look at everything over the last 2 months, if you can recall, from the severe weather to our south moving northeast, and then also our transition. So we're transitioning right now into neutral, and what that means for anyone out there that's wondering, there's La Nina and there's El Nino. El Nino, we tend to see warmer, drier conditions. La Nina, you see cooler, windier, stormier conditions, and that's what's currently transitioning from. So the La Nina was our past winter, which we did have a winter finally, a little bit. But as we head into spring and into the beginning of summer, we're transitioning to neutral, which neutral puts us right in the middle. So if we're right in the middle, we're opening the door to low pressure systems from the northwest, low pressure systems from the southwest, but it's also normal. Our temperatures haven't strayed much from normal. So we've been seeing everything kind of right down the middle of the road, if you will. Like, hey, Judy, let's take a look right now with our handy dandy internet service on our phone. We can show you, we can look at averages for the month of May. And if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure everything was right on par for where they should be. Local. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we want to go to observed weather. We want to go to CF6, which, by the way, National Weather Service is the best $4 a year anybody could spend. So Houghton Lake, so far in the month of June, is right at average. But when we take a look at May, if I can, oh, there we go, click for archive data. This is so much harder on your phone. Okay, so actually, for the month of May, Houghton Lake, is this Houghton Lake? Was almost 2 degrees below average. So there you go. Kind of throws everything into line. Let's see what Traverse City was. There we go. Also 2 degrees below average. I'm not sure if that's correct. Previous version. Let's see. What if I turn it this way? Oh no, I was right. Yeah. Houghton Lake and Traverse City were both 2 degrees below average for May. Impressive. Okay, so what about Sault Ste. Marie? What up, Nate? How are you, buddy? So far, Sault Ste. Marie's right at average. And then let's check to see what May was. Average. So yeah, kind of goes hand in hand. We finally had a spring that wasn't too hot, that wasn't too dry. I have Bowser hairs on my mic. And the monthly, that's one thing I haven't looked at, is the monthly. I didn't look at that last month, did I? I didn't give you guys the climate data for May climate. Let's go over that. That's not what I wanted. Said climate, not climate. Climate report. This is hard when you're holding a mic. There we go. Okay. Oh, this is national. I don't want that. Well, maybe I can't find it. That also happens on a phone. Please bear with me, y'all. All right, so in May of 2024. Nope, we want May of 2025. Apparently, I can't find it. Maybe they haven't released it yet? Oh, they haven't released it yet. Sorry, chat. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate that. So let's look back at April then, since they haven't released May. I'm sure they're pretty busy too. So April would have been the second month of meteorological spring. Sault Ste. Marie was a degree and a half below average. Oh, that's right. Okay, so the climatology that I'm looking at, totally forgot about this, chat, and I'll tell you why. So Alpena, Gaylord, Pelston all do not have any record, or for the most part don't have the majority of days in April recorded. Why? Because of the ice storm. The ice storm, they didn't have power in Pelston, Alpena, and Gaylord for 2.5 weeks. So that is the reason why we didn't have an April climate report. But Sault Ste. Marie, who did have power, was about 1.5 degrees below average. Home Lake was right at average, and Traverse City was right at average. So April and May were both right around average to slightly below average temperature-wise. That is why we've been seeing our plants taking off so crazily, which is nice. But it's also why we've been seeing so much wind. We've been bombarded by those low pressure systems. So the climate data proves exactly what I've been talking about. Looks like the sun. Hi, Jamie, my cousin. Looks like the sun is poking through there. It's no. There's a little bit of blue sky over there, but it's rough. I think it's early morning. Clouds just chilling. It's not going to be very sunny. In fact, I think this is kind of what we're supposed to see today. I haven't looked at the updated forecast. I got it in at 9, set up real quickly. Our very bare bones minimum podcast setup. And Haley was here, but Haley is downstairs right now training on stuff in the studio, which was unexpected. We didn't know that was going to happen. So we apologize for that. She just texted me. Hi, my love. My wife just said, hey, good looking. Hey, back at you, good looking. So yeah, Haley just texted me. She said, Sorry, no one told me this was happening. So she apologizes, which I told her no worries. This is what happens when you move in a new building. Sometimes you get grabbed and pulled all directions. But yeah, so that is why we've been so windy, and that why our spring's actually been right around average. So I think that's kind of where we'll leave you guys for today. If you guys have any more questions, fire away, and I can answer the best of my abilities. But yeah, I'm glad we got this working. Sorry about earlier. We started the stream and audio was wonky, but now the audio is fine. And like we mentioned, if you are on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching this, if you do have things that you want to see done on Beyond the Forecast, let us know, and we'll get to work on those. And in the meantime, we'll continue to do what we do best, weather. So I think with that being said, we're going to end this podcast, and we'll be back next week with a topic and time. And we'll discuss with you all. So appreciate you all. Be good. Stay safe. Take care. Oh, hold on. Question before we leave. Where there is severe weather, will you be able to do live updates in the studio? Yes, we will. Just like the last one. We are currently working on doing the break into TV. And then also we are really working on doing the coverage on socials as well. Since we have moved and how our setup is now, we have to look at how we're going to do that. Whereas before, it was very easy to set up because we've done it for years and I knew the background of it. Now we have a very new system that is new to pretty much everybody. And we have to figure out how we're going to implement it to do that stuff for you. But yes, we're working hard on that, Deb, to do exactly what we did at the old station. So don't worry, we're on it. But thank you guys. Appreciate you all. I will see you guys all later today on the noon, and then we'll have a new Beyond the Forecast this afternoon. So be good, stay safe, take care, sleep well, or work well. Yeah. I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye, everybody.